Today I'm going to show you how to tape bunions. I'm not an expert, so recently I had a workshop where we learned to tape different kinds of things, and I was the model during class to receive a bunion tape because I have bunions. And also the instructor said that even though my arches are not as flat, at least this one, as you could think, she still wanted me to have a bit of an extra lift too. So this is like a double construction for both things, and I just practiced on my right side. It feels very similar to what the instructor did, and it gives me just really a nice feeling of lift and activity in my foot and my lower leg, and literally up the whole chain. So I was wearing that the last time just for a few hours and only on one side, and it resulted in me actually feeling a little bit of muscle soreness in areas along my whole leg that I didn't really know to happen usually. So it really did do something, and I think if you're sensitive and hypermobile, you may actually have more results or benefits from that. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm trying to use contrasting colors so it's easier to see what's happening. And basically the first thing that you're going to do is you want to measure tape from around here. So this is my toenail, so from around the toenail around the heel. I have to check. Yeah, so it has to be a little bit like maybe to this bone, and then you will eventually like pull it further over because you put some stretch on the tape. So once you measure that, you cut it. And important with all the taping is that you actually round the edges. So you can see I rounded it, and because if you don't do it, it will more easily peel off. So rounding helps against that. And then you do that on all the corners. You can actually follow along with me. I'm not going to edit this to be faster. And then to take it, don't try to peel it, you just rip. And then it's open. And you don't want it to stick somewhere and take it away and stick it back again. Like it loses its stickiness from being somewhere once. So you're going to place it at the nail, like at the height of the nail, and then you go to the bunion itself, and there you can actually experiment with it. Like you need to bring some pull for the toe to go out, and you need the stickiness that does the pull. If it's here too far forward, it's not gonna work. You need to go beyond that big knuckle thingy, and like I actually now stuck on it. I'm gonna do it again, so that's what you're supposed to not do, but I'm still gonna use it. It's just for demo purposes. So I'm going beyond that big knobbly thing, and really you can see what's happening to my toe. There's no pull, there's pull. And then I just basically go along below that inner bony thing, go under the outside bony thing, and I'm pulling and pulling, so I have a constant pull on the thing. And then I curve around here, and when I arrive towards the last like 5 centimeters, I stop pulling and let the end stick like that. Because if the beginning and the end are stuck without having pull, it also ensures that they stick better, versus if I had pull very close to the endings that stick on the skin, it would also lift them off. Then what you need to do is you need to secure this around the toe. So for this, you can get a little bit of a longer thing, measure wide it's supposed to be, because if you take the whole width of the band, it's not going to work. And again, you round the edges. Oops. Rip it open, and then you just basically place it starting somewhere. Here you don't really have to do a lot of pull, otherwise you will cut off your circulation. It's basically just here to secure the thing in place. Okay, and then, oh, you can see that this is really bad. It's already falling off because I didn't do it properly, but we will do so on the other side. So you need a second part that will also go a little bit around the heel. So this is already my perfect length. Rounding the edges. And then rip it. And then, like before, make sure that the beginning is not put on pull, but once you're past that bunion thing, so here, not here, here, you can pull again, and you can see it's actually manipulating my toe into even more abduction. And I'm really pulling around the heel, and the last 5 centimeters I stop pulling. Okay, so this is like the bunion only thing. And ideally, like if you notice that it's not super sticky, you could even put another circle around here, or actually do that circle that I just did underneath the pink, actually in the end. I think I would actually do it like that next time, but somehow in the photos that I reconstructed from the course, it was done like that. And now to lift the arch a little bit up, you also need 2 tapes. So I'm gonna grab the blue one again, and it's gonna come from underneath, going here over, and then circling around your leg. And it actually feels really nice when it's done properly. So you measure a little bit less than the distance that you eventually want, because you will be putting it on pull. Oh my god, such a big mess. And then rounding the edges as always. This is not the best pair of scissors, by the way. Okay, then again, breaking it open by ripping. The first few centimeters don't have pull. So it's kind of like pretty much exactly in the center. If this is like the foot without the toes, it's pretty much in the center where you're putting it in. First few centimeters, so maybe this much without pull. And then actually, you want to really pull strongly, so it's literally lifting up my arch. I'm going around. Yeah, this time I'm going over the malleolus, so that knobbly bone of the ankle. And then don't do it too tightly, else you will cut off your circulation. And then you spiral it around, and the last few centimeters, again, you do it without pull. So I want you to be able to observe it, what it looks like. I think on this side I did it nicer. This you're not supposed to do. Just want to put it so that it looks better. So coming up from here, spiraling around, up. And then you again put the second one. You can see I really did this one really badly because I pulled when I put it here, it was already on pull. That's why it's falling off constantly. So don't do it like that. Here's the pink. Oh my god. Am I blind? Oh, the pink ran out, so I have to open this new one. That's the situation. Sorry, maybe I will actually edit this out. Okay. And you can see like this uses a ton of tape. So it's not really something I do all the time, and it's quite the elaborate process. So basically you just want to double down on that arch lift for the next one, but it's not going to go all the way around. So you're going to have from the center to just before the malleolus. So that means when you measure, you go a little bit less far than the malleolus because you will put some stretch on it. Okay. Rounding the edges. The pink tape is doing its own thing over there. Ripping it off. First few centimeters have no stretch. Oops. Don't do the double thing as I did. And then you really stretch. And then the last 4 or 5 or 3 to 5 centimeters again. You don't have the thing. And then when you're done, you can get up and see what it feels like, and usually it should, for me it feels as if there was an energy underneath here lifting really up, and of course my toes get abducted. So I'm gonna film for you what it looks like a little closer. So you can see my toes. My left one, I did it a bit better. There's more pull. This one is messed up, but the double pull is really strong. Look at this nice gap. I'm thinking actually of trying something for the little toes too. And then, yeah, this is what it looks like. There's quite a few folds. I don't care about that right now, but if I did it nicely, I would want to do it without folds. So again, the first step is blue underneath, going along and around, kind of over here. Let's do that again. Blue would be coming from here, around and up, and then you do a second layer. This is the point where you pull into abduction with the tape from below here, not from here. The second one goes around. It doesn't have to be as long as the first one. Secure it with a circle around here. Don't make it too tight, otherwise your circulation will be cut off. And then you have a first one coming here, really pulling, lifting, going around, up your leg. And then you double down on it with a second one that goes around, but not all the way, basically. So that one actually stopped here. Okay, this is your bunion taping. I hope it helps.